Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today. Today is Wednesday, December 10th. Take a look at the markets and the indices like we usually do, including Germany, Russia, India, and China. Look at our indicators. And then we're going to look at 5 stocks tonight: QIHU, YOKU, YY, YAHOO, and Whole Foods. Okay, the Dow was down a whopping 268 points today. One of the biggest drops in a while, clearly since back here in early October. And 3 days in a row, we had no rally in the afternoon like the way it rallied back on Tuesday. So we now have on the Dow 2 consecutive closes below the 10, and this close was below yesterday's low. So, and you could see we're not oversold on the RSI yet. Doesn't mean we can't bounce. We've got the DI minus greater than DI plus. It just crossed. The demand index went negative. S&P 500. 3 days in a row below the 10. Similar type scenario here in terms of closing below yesterday's low on the close. We're not, the New York Composite we'll look at in just a second. It was a lot lower. I mean, it was down around here, actually approaching the 253-day moving average. NASDAQ, let's blow this up a minute. So the big rally that, on the NASDAQ got totally washed away today. I mean, you came down, you opened low, rallied all the way back up, and they just sold it all off today. So we closed right back down where it opened yesterday. It opened 46.85. We closed 46.84. So 1 point below where it opened yesterday. So gave it all back. It's pretty negative. Got the DI minus crossing DI plus. Let's see. The demand, the RSI is below 50, but it's down in here around, where is this? 43. For all this selling we're getting the last 2 to 3 days, it doesn't mean we couldn't just, kind of pause or rally coming off of this because we're getting some extreme action. We'll look at that in a minute. The New York Composite, where is that? There we go. Again, the New York Composite is the most negative. Actually, we've got an RSI reading down below 30 here. And pretty substantial, movement on the DI minus greater than DI plus. You can see the ADX is starting to rise, and it's at 26. So here we are closing below the 55, and we're right at the 233, and we're right at the bottom of the Keltner channel. So this is the one that has been the most negative, which is the broadest of our indices that we're looking at. I'm not sure if it's broader than the NASDAQ composite or not. And it's only common stocks. So this is rather interesting. I've talked about this before, how we did not move to a new high on this, and now it's rolled over pretty strongly, actually. And we've got a moving average cross in here for the first time since back here in early to mid-September. Okay, where am I looking for? The Russell 2000. Do I not have that? Oh, here it is. I thought I had it up. Okay, so the Russell, again, like the NASDAQ, the Russell was even stronger yesterday than the NASDAQ in terms of this huge, bullish bar, almost an entire engulfing type bar. Did it make any difference? No, they sold it right on back down. Now, did it go below yesterday's low? No, not yet. So we're going to have to watch to see it. Clearly, there's support that's right in here around 1155. We get a close below 1155, and I think this thing is really going to break down, but as if it's not already. So that's it on the Russell. Let's take a look at some of our indicators. Now, this is going to be really interesting. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, honestly. Short-term trading index. Look at the reading, 3.45 on a close, okay? This is a pretty extreme reading, and we got our blue line up above 1.5. This hasn't happened since February 3rd, all the way back to February 3rd, which was the last day of the correction coming off of January into early February. Okay, now, so we go back here. Let's open this up. Let's go back and take a look. We go back. Here we go. Here was February 3rd. So we're getting the kind of reading on the short-term trading index or trend or ARM index. You know, there's multiple names for this. We're getting the same reading today that we got on this bar after all of this selling. So I'm skeptical that that reading means that we're washing out, but it could be. It could be that, you know, maybe this is just a short, really powerful correction, and we're now going to bounce. So you do have to watch and watch what the stocks are doing, watch what the indicator is doing here. But I'm just, you know, you had a pretty good move over several weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, really topping out from, you know, December 31st. The whole month of January was in a downtrend, okay? And so now what have we got? 3 days, and we get the same kind of reading. So I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if this is similar to what I talked about on the post on was it Monday? Maybe it was Monday, where I got the really high new 52-week lows over 300, and how quickly we got over 300, and so we got very negative very quickly. It's kind of, you know, that flag is going off in my mind. You know, I'm just kind of going, is that rolling over to this or not? Because when you go to the short-term trading index, we have had these isolated readings like this, like February, and then we had one, you know, back in August when it was close to bottoming, August 27th. But if you go back to December, back into 2011, when there was a ton of selling going on, the environment was totally different. Look at this. Look at the blue line readings well above the 1.5, and look at the extreme readings. It's just, they're all over the place. So we have just been in an environment recently where we haven't had much of that because it's been extremely bullish, and we get these isolated corrections. So I just, right now, there's a part of me that's kind of wondering whether this is like the break in the ice or whether this does mean the end of the correction. And it's really, really hard to tell. We just got to, you know, watch and be careful on it. And the other thing is the volatility index has not even come close to where it was in October. If you zoom down a little bit, where was it back in January? Okay, it was here. Okay, so here was January, February 3rd. Okay, we haven't gotten even on the VIX to February 3rd, which was around 21.5, which was the reading that we were seeing in those other ones, September, June of 2013, and some of those sell-off modes. So I don't know. We're not nearly up at an extreme on the VIX, although we've had one heck of a move, and you can see how it changes pretty quickly, and we now have the moving averages crossed. Okay, so it's got the potential to set up for something even bigger. Now, let's see, the other thing I wanted to take a look at is take a look at this high yield fund again. I watching this. I mean, this thing is continuing to dive. It's just continuing to dive, which is again meaning risk off. And so, you know, implying that the selling of the stock market, which is exactly what's been happening. The advance decline today, 4.61 declines for every one advance. So almost 5 to 1. It's one of the more negative readings we've had in a while. Okay, let's take a look at the international indices. Let's take a look at the German DAX. It always knows where I want to go. I don't know how it knows that. Okay, this was Thursday, then the bounce back on Friday, and then here's Monday, and then it's come on back down Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're now, the German DAX is now even lower than the big reversal day on Thursday, which everybody's probably going on Friday going, well, it's so much for that reversal bar. Well, then here we are. So we'll see what holds with this. But it sure looks like it's starting to roll over. I mean, we're getting a couple closes here below the 10. We'll see whether or not we get the 10 to break down below the 21 or not. The MICEX index, Russia. Well, Russia's finally cracked. So I don't know if they finally got to the point where the ruble and the oil and everything combined, but got this huge reversal bar on Thursday, and then it just sold off like it's falling off a cliff. And honestly, I was wondering what the heck was going on over here, but we'll see what continues to happen here. So that's rather interesting. India. Well, okay, India looks to me like we might have gotten our fifth wave, minor wave in here, and maybe our third intermediate wave up is done. We'll know for sure if it breaks this trend line and comes on back down a little bit. But, you know, it's had one heck of a move and still looks like it's in a bullish move. Just looks like now it's time for a little corrective action. And Shanghai Composite. Wow. Now, here's this big reversal bar everybody was talking about. Okay, that was yesterday. And so, you know, we're up on this rocket ship blasting off here. And then we get this huge reversal bar. This kind of action just doesn't seem like a fifth wave type action. It seems like a third wave type action to me. So therefore, I think I kind of revised my count a little bit. I think that maybe we have something like a wave one in here, maybe a running flat in here, wave two, and then this strong wave three that's underway. We'll see what plays out, whether we have one more push up or not. Here we could get like a fifth minor wave in here, or fifth minute wave in here, and we could have like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The dotted lines I've got drawn up here are where there was resistance before at this peak. This peak and this peak right in here are almost identical. So it came slightly above this, but I got a feeling if it pushes again, it's going to run into some trouble right up there. That's the next major resistance zone that I see. And where is that? Right around 3180, something like that. 3170, 3180. Of course, this is 2940 here, close today. So one heck of a move, and we'll see how it continues. It might get one more little minor wave up. Okay, that's the four. Let's take a look at QIHU 360. There we are. Okay, QIHU has continued. The last time I talked was 2 weeks ago, so 10 days, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. We were right up in here, and remember I was talking about we were right at this huge resistance line. I said, you know, it's almost like a big head and shoulders top type thing. And I said, if it closes above this, then it's going to start to make me think that maybe this picture to the downside's failing. Well, it didn't. It rolled back down, and it continued the downward thrust, downward move. So that's exactly what I expected to see happen. You know, again, pull back right to the neckline in here, trend line, neckline. And so now, if we've had one primary wave up, we've got a WX, very complicated corrective mode going on. So again, a little hard to tell. I'm not quite sure what's playing out here in this what I call Y wave. You almost see like a zigzag in here or a flat, but then we're doing something else that's a little more corrective. Now, I mean, if we just try to project where this would end, if we kind of go the length of W back to the end of X, Y will equal W down here at around 54. Now, it's gotten very close to that, and there's never any guarantee that it's only going to go 100%, that it doesn't go and become longer than W. But this is an initial target, so in terms of still trending to the downside, it looks like it may have more. And again, here you got the Shanghai Composite going through the roof, and you've got these Chinese stocks that are still continuing to sell off. These ones that are listed here in the United States anyway. YOKU still continuing to trend to the downside over the last week. This 2 weeks. This is what's happened down through here. We've not I thought we were going to start to try to turn around, but it hasn't happened yet. It has stalled out over the last few days in here, but it sure hasn't closed above the 10 and hasn't started to push to the high side. So we'll just have to continue to watch it, monitor it. Still in at least a minor downtrend in here, intermediate downtrend. And YY, similar type thing. YY's continued the down move. Okay, where are we in terms of last? So 1, 2, probably right in here. And my little filter just kicked on. And I'm going to change that. Find that out. I've got a filter on my screens that kicks in when it's sunset. And so it kind of, what it does is it helps filter, I think, UV rays or whatever coming off the monitors as it gets into evening time, so that you don't have such a hard time sleeping. And I've got it on a laptop, and I've got it on these screens here that I use in the evening time too. And it's pretty nice. I like it, but kind of dims the screen when I'm trying to make a recording like this. So anyway, YY, we talked about this, how it looks like a large flat, right? Primary wave up, corrective A, B, C. Because I've got C down here because I'm expecting this to come back down to the end of A, which, since it's a flat, that's the expectation, that it typically will come down into here. Sometimes it'll go beyond it, sometimes not quite as far, but at least for a target, that's what I'm targeting, is right down in here in the lower 50s. So right now, it's continuing to trend that way, continuing to play out. Not quite sure what this C wave is actually doing. We could have, it's hard to guess. I mean, it almost looks like kind of a zigzag in here. But anyway, that's my target on YY, and I see no reason to change it at this point. I mean, we broke through support right here, broke to the downside. Okay, YAHOO. Take a look at YAHOO, because I put this as a trade idea in the middle of the day. It might have been late morning. I can't remember when it was. I think it might have been around 11 o'clock. And then I tweeted that I put this out because I got into a position, got into puts. Now, I am a little bit wary because we had a pretty strong up here, 21-day up here on a pretty strong move. But we are starting to break down. We're getting these closes below the 10. We're getting the 10 crossing below the 21. We'll just have to see whether we continue to get pullback or not. I'm expecting, a pullback. It could pull back at least to the 55-day moving average down in here. We'll see. And so right now, that's the play. Let's take a look at the indicators. Yeah, now it got pretty strongly overbought, but now it's back down. I mean, it's pulled back down to 40. We got the DI minus crossing DI plus. Demand index just went negative. All right, so that's the play we got on that. I got to take a look at the stop on that. I think I need to double check the stops on that and make sure I've got the details right on the trade ideas page. And that's the other thing. All these on these trade ideas, the information's on the trade ideas webpage. If you're not a subscriber, just subscribe. It's very easy to do. And the last one, what am I looking for? I am looking for, well, we just talked about YAHOO. I'm looking for Whole Foods. There it is, right above it. Okay, so this is another one that's, I actually thought this is a very strong move that it came out of this congestion down in here, this trading range. Huge volume, big gap up into here. Now, I view this as kind of a counter trend type move. We'll see. It basically closed this huge gap that occurred here in the down move. Now, the 233 is still sloping down to the right. And now we got the 55 coming up here, at this angle because of this move. We could get a pullback. And again, it looks like it's starting to break down. A couple closes below the 10. And, I kind of like the action. I saw, some pretty good divergence showing up in here on the RSI. Divergence on both sides of the 80 DI plus and DI minus. And the demand index has not gone negative yet, but you can see again, same type of divergence action, that it's sloping down while the price was still moving up. And the other thing is, a lot of times, I was going to point this out, whenever I see like either DI plus or DI minus cross the ADX line right here, a lot of times it means that the buying, in this case, because of the blue line, that the buying momentum has stalled out, okay? And it could just mean that it's going to go sideways, but it could also mean that it's going to pull back. And so it's one thing I've noticed. All right, so that's what we're looking at. Again, details on the Trade Ideas webpage. And I know I'm also looking at STX. And I've got that as a trade idea too, but we didn't get a fill on that today. So, all right, that's it for today. And a lot to cover, a lot of action today. We'll see what happens Thursday, Friday. And then we'll talk to you again on Saturday for the weekend update. This has been Joe from Beyond the Chart. Have a great rest of the week, everyone.